I've been living my life for other people. I've been dressing the way I've been dressing because I have to impress this person, or I have to be appropriate at the office, or I have to, do this, or whatever the case is. And I fit into all these boxes, especially as women. Now I'll wear a pair of leggings and a crop top and the back is just jiggling and I don't care.
Hey everyone, I'm Dania Beckford. Bold, sometimes brash. And since I'm the CEO of Broadtail Design, I consider myself Broadtail beautiful. It's time we make the conversations we have as women open, honest, and authentic as we navigate living our best lives. Join me as I have intimate conversations with women of all sizes, shapes, and confidence levels as we explore being Broadtail.
My guest today is Sara Stanford, and I love her. She's just so fabulous, and I'm happy to have her here with me today. Hi, Sara.
Hi, Dania.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Good. No, we have to start with a drink, and I'm sorry, you're just going to have my favorite. Zapatoni, sir.
That's my favorite.
Alright. So, it's a Thursday evening, almost the weekend. So here you go. Cheers. So great conversation?
Yes.
All right.
It's good though.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Sara, I've known you for a little while. I've seen you a lot on social media, and you're always confident. And based on the fact that you have a skin condition, most women would not be so confident and bold about that. So tell me a little bit about how you got to this place of being so confident and about your skin condition.
Okay, so let me start from the second question first. My skin condition. It's called vitiligo. Vitiligo.
I've seen you do that on social media.
Yes, because some people don't know how to pronounce it. And it's actually an Italian word for white skin. Right? And what vitiligo is, it's an autoimmune condition. So basically, your body's cells are kind of fighting against each other. So everyone has melanin. And the darker you are, the more melanin you have. The lighter you are, the less melanin you have. For whatever the reason, which I don't think the medical community has quite figured out, people with vitiligo, their skin stops producing melanin. And so, or melanocytes, I think is the proper word. So if your body's not producing the melanin, then we're not producing pigment cells. And pigment cells is what gives you the color. And so the color of your skin gradually goes away because your body is no longer producing the melanin that is needed to give you color.
Okay. When did you figure out that this started to happen to you?
I think I was about 8 years old when I was first diagnosed. I went through a bad bout of eczema, and I don't know if it's a few months later or whatever, these little white spots started coming up on specifically my joints. So my knees, my ankles, my elbows, my fingers, and a little bit around my face. And so my parents flipped out, I think, right? Which I think most parents would, especially then. We're talking like 83, 84, 1983, 84, where there was absolutely no representation, no knowledge of what this was happening. So they took me to a dermatologist who then diagnosed and told them that I had vitiligo.
And do you remember what you felt at the time?
I do remember what I felt, and then I remember how I felt after the dermatologist spoke to me. So initially, I was scared. I was confused. I didn't know what was happening, and I think I was feeding off of the energy of my parents as well, because I think they were scared and confused. They didn't know what was happening. And I went to a doctor. His name is Dr. Haddad. And every time I tell my story, I mention Dr. Haddad, because Dr. Haddad literally changed the trajectory of my life. And he will never understand or even know. Because when he took me there and he told my parents that, listen, this is vitiligo, this is what's going to happen, he looked at me and he said, Sara, I want to tell you something. If anybody in school, remember I'm 8, if anybody in school ever tries to tease you about your vitiligo, you know what you tell them? And I said, no. He says, tell them they're jealous.
They're jealous?
He said, tell them they're jealous because God made you special and you didn't make them special.
Wow. And you carried that with you?
To this day.
Okay.
To this day. So when people ask me about my confidence, I mean, I can tell you about how I was raised and my parents and all this other kind of stuff, but it started there because I was never given the time to look at my skin condition as a negative thing. I just was
just because of what
he said. So I say to women, I say to everybody, but especially women who are raising young girls and young boys, what you speak into that child makes a difference.
It really does make a big difference.
Huge difference.
Tell me how it is after that when you went back to school. Because the doctor said this to you, and clearly you carried with you throughout your life. But was it always easy? Did people tease you?
In school, not so much. I think because I find, and I tell people with vitiligo all the time, if I didn't make a big deal out of it, so kind of nobody else did. Right? And every now and again, I think probably one or two people tried to. I remember there's a young boy that did. But as far as I was concerned, I had my little superwoman S on my chest and my thing, God made me special, so you can't talk to me. And that was it. Where I think I started to struggle and where I started to lose confidence was in high school and in my early 20s. It is, and I went to high school in the States.
Okay.
I didn't go to high school out here, so I went to boys and girls school in the States. So you had cheerleader and football player, and I was there
the
with
things we see in the movies.
Everything you see in the movies, Mean Girls, everything, right? And I came there, and this was in Miami, so there was a lot of Spanish kids and stuff, long hair and whatever, hot girls. And I came there with my patchy skin, right? Not relaxed, nappy hair at the time is what it would have been referred to. I'm a big bottom, and I just...
Let's talk about the big bottom.
Okay, right? And so I felt awkward then. I definitely felt awkward then. And so I think what I did to protect myself was, and people always used to say I was stuck up. And it wasn't that I was stuck up, I just tried not to engage people with eye contact, because if I did, you were gonna ask me about my skin. And I didn't want to talk
about your skin at the time.
No.
So what broke that cycle for you?
I think just a level of maturity and reaching a level where you said, okay, it's not that big of a deal, and recognize that if I talk about it, I'm educating, right? And so it could get tiresome sometimes, because when people see me initially, oftentimes, especially when I was younger, what they saw was my skin, so it was a natural thing for people to ask. And so to constantly have to almost explain part of who you are or your physical appearance every time you meet someone gets a little bit daunting. And so that's why I kind of just looked either through people or over people.
Okay.
And so over time, I just kind of recognized that that wasn't necessary. And, once I started to really build a lot more confidence in myself, I feel like when I walk into a room, people don't see my skin first anymore.
Let us talk about the big bottom. Right? Because you do know that Broadtail is really big bottom.
Big bottom.
Bigger, more or less, that I couldn't be out there calling a brand big bottom. Right. So Broadtail. Mm-hmm. So you said that, okay, you have vitiligo, you were looking different from most of the people at school, but you also had a big bottom. And whereas big bottom is nice now,
it wasn't nice then.
At certain points, persons didn't want to have a big bottom. So it's almost like you had these two strikes against you.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Well, I've always, in my younger years, felt like my brain didn't catch up with my body. So my brain
What does that mean?
My brain just always thought I was fat.
Really?
Yes. I don't think I was. If I look back at pictures, I'm 193 pounds now. When I look back at pictures at 130, I thought I was fat. Like, really? Right? But that was because of what society was teaching us at the time. Because all you had was, we didn't have a lot of black magazines back then. And we didn't have social media back then. So it was Cosmo, Vogue, Teen Beat, all them things with the skinny
black
girls.
Hair.
Exactly. Black hair with all the skinny white girls, and that's what we had to emulate, and that's what we thought of beautiful and sexy. So me with my big old bottom and my wide hips, where are you going with that? If I'm to be honest with you, I don't think I embraced the size of my bottom and my figure until I was about 35.
35? And what actually brought you to that place of embracing it?
Am I going to be honest?
Yes, please.
My husband.
Your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
My husband, sorry, Brian.
I don't think him, I think I'm quite fine with you saying that. I don't think him sorry.
And so, whereas I was self-conscious about it and thought that it meant I was fat, he, just embraces it and he really allowed me or helped me to see, wait, hold on a second. Yeah. And so that was really, and that's when I started. I had an ex-boyfriend one time, wonderful guy. I'm going to say this and it sounds negative, but I know he didn't mean it in a negative way. Leggings, like what you're wearing now.
And
I would see girls in leggings, but like with a crop top.
Right.
And he told me, and I know he didn't mean anything by it, that I was in my 20s. I couldn't wear leggings with a crop top because on me it would look vulgar.
What?
I know he didn't mean. I think what he meant is.
Just want to apologize.
No, because he's a decent guy. No, he's a decent guy.
You know,
because I think he was saying the bottom would just be,
you probably didn't want anybody else to be looking at the bottom.
Okay, we could look at it that way.
So he was selfish.
Okay, we can look at it that way.
Fine.
But back then, but now I'll wear a pair of leggings with a crop top and the back is just jiggling and I don't care.
From your social media pages, I've seen you talk about putting on weight, and you did a whole photo shoot where you had fan blowing in the wind like Beyonce and ear things up on, and it seemed like your confidence level even lifted more.
Right.
What caused that?
I feel like once you reach 40, you gain a I don't give a you know what after a while, and there is something that is very freeing about that happens, and it happens to me, and I've heard other women and men talk about it too, where you just feel like, hey, I've been living my life for other people. I've been dressing the way I've been dressing because I have to impress this person, or I have to be appropriate at the office, or I have to, do this, or whatever the case is, and I fit into all these boxes, especially as women. Because we have to be sexy, but we have to be mummies, and we have to be professional, and we have to be all these different things, right? So I think I just reached a point when I turned 40, and the photo shoot you're referring to was for my 45th birthday, which was just the other day, where I just wanted to just embrace all of it. So, I even have the picture with just the boobs.
Yes, I saw that.
Which Instagram took down, but.
Okay. All right. The community has rules.
Yes, it does.
But we don't have to have those things for ourselves. But the photos were definitely fabulous.
Thank you.
And as I said in the beginning of the interview, you are the owner of Bliss Bridal.
Yes.
So you deal with women every day as well. And you sell them a dream of the dream day. And I know that can be a little bit mentally stressful sometimes for women. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the women that you talk to, how they react to this day, the things that they want to wear, what they want to do with their hair? Yeah. Do you see them being confident for that day? Do you have to help them to get there?
A lot of women, yes, I have to help them. One of the first things when I meet a bride and I ask her, what do you have in mind for your dress? What I find most often is women start to tell me what parts of their body they want to hide first, before they tell me what they want to highlight. Women will tell me they need sleeves, and when I find out why, it's because they just think their arms are too big. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, right? Or there might be stretch marks. Or one thing that I found is very common, I didn't realize until I got in this business, was scoliosis.
Okay.
In all varying forms. And a lot of women are very self-conscious, and it's not until you tell me and I step back and look, I'm like, oh, okay, I might see it a little bit. And so one of the things on a wedding day, I don't care if the 10 people you bring to your appointment think that this dress is the most beautiful dress on you. If you do not feel confident in that dress, then it's not your dress, right? And what makes you feel confident may be wide and varied. You might feel like you have a tummy, but this particular dress really helps to minimize it, right? Or you don't really want to wear the high heels, you want to wear flats, and this dress accommodates that and it feels really good, right? You might have big boobs and you're conscious and don't want to have to wear a strapless bra. There are all these different things that we have to consider when a bride is looking for a dress. But one of the things I encourage brides to do is when you think about your wedding dress, think about the areas of your body you want to highlight.
Right.
We can deal with the areas that you want to conceal, but what do you want to highlight? What's going to make you feel good? Are the girls being locked and loaded? Is that what's going to do it for you? Yeah, or you just want to see the back to shape up from the side where there are so many things. Right. Trust me, there are so many things. The fact of the matter is, I think most of us aren't as confident as we would like. to be, even me in certain areas.
Yeah, because as women, we're on different parts of the continent.
Exactly.
Things that you feel yesterday, you may not feel it today or even next year.
Yeah.
But I always find it very interesting that some of my clients do, because they're full figured and they have the same issue of wanting to conceal a lot of things and talk about the negatives about their own bodies first, in their opinion. They find it very hard to talk about the things that they love about themselves. And I know that brides can be like that too, especially with even the hair situation.
Oh, well, the hair thing is really flooring me a little bit. And in that the black women, a lot of us are now going through this natural hair journey.
I was just telling you that when I started to go natural, all these fabulous products that everybody has never their own.
No.
They did look very poor and hungry. No, I'll tell you.
No, there wasn't. And I think it's fabulous that the hair industry is finally starting to embrace black women and black women's natural hair, right? So I would probably say more women come to my store with natural hair now than with relaxed hair.
Yeah.
If I really sit down and think about it, the hair may be braided, there may be faux locks, or whatever the case is, right? But I see a lot of natural hair. And I find it very interesting that when I ask women, because I style the whole thing, we talk about head to toe, and I ask you, what do you plan on doing with your hair, your natural hair? Are you keeping your natural hair for the wedding? 95% of women tell me no.
Really?
Yeah. They're going to either do a lace front, and I don't even hear so much a full sewing anymore. It's usually a wig. And so I actually, not pressed, I asked a bride the other day, what was it, why she was choosing to go with the lace front wig. And in all honesty, I don't think she really had an answer. She's like, she just wanted the long hair or whatever. And then I think her friend may have been a little bit put off or offended by my question, so I kind of pulled back, right? But at the end of the day, from what I've gathered, I feel like as women, even though we're transitioning to the natural hair, the way our hair grows out of our head, I don't know if it's that we don't feel that it is elegant enough. I don't know if it's because I don't feel like there's anyone there to style it that can manage it.
This is a whole different conversation. Because if you think about it, you have decided to wear your natural hair, but on this day that's supposed to be the dream day that most women say, they want to be the most beautiful on their wedding day. That's not the day you want to wear your natural hair, which means that the things that they've been telling us about what sexy is or what beautiful is still so ingrained in some of us that we still don't like parts of our hair because of it. So that's a whole different conversation about confidence and how you feel with your own hair. Tell me now, on our confidence scale of 1 to 10, where would you say that you're currently at?
Currently?
10 being the highest.
10 being the highest?
Yes.
I'm going to put myself at a 7.
7 on 71.
I was working out from August, and by the end of October, because my birthday was October 10th, I'd lost 20 pounds, and I was doing intermittent fasting. I went to foreign.
Listen, you can understand what this intermittent fasting is. Everybody has talked about it.
It's excellent. It works. It works. Right? I went to the States, came back from the States end of October, and had to quarantine. So that means no really going outside and working out and all that kind of stuff. So then I just fell back into my lull. So I'm a little bit chunkier.
I think it looks good.
Thank you. I appreciate it, but I always realize that I can't look at a woman and tell her, oh, you're not fat, or oh, you don't need to lose weight, because it comes down to what feels good to her. So somebody's going to look at me and say, oh God, please, you don't need to lose the weight. Look how you shape, look how you look like. But this is not where I'm used to being, right? Once I can't tuck in my belly confidently, then I know I've gained too much weight.
Okay. And that's a very important thing, not to be in denial about how we feel about ourselves, because being confident in our own skin is not only about weight, it's about how we feel. And so if you have on a certain amount of weight, whether you're a skinny person, average, or a full figure, it's about how you feel confident. I get that completely, because my thing with my own weight is that if I can't run up the stairs and not go so
you're good.
Yeah, I am good. It's not really about the pounds for me, but how I feel in my own body. You know what I'm saying? So I get that completely. Yeah. But you mentioned you came home in quarantine. So, locked in quarantine, what is your must-have item?
Just one item?
Fine, make it two.
Locked in quarantine, my must-have is going to be a cocktail.
Okay.
A cocktail and my husband.
Really? You know that a lot of people are not including the husbands or the spouses or the...
I mean, sometimes it's nice to be in quarantine by yourself.
Okay.
But depending on how long the quarantine is, I love my husband. He's cool people. He gets on my nerves sometimes. But if I'm going to be locked up with someone, it's going to be him.
Okay. All right. Accept it. And if it is that you were an animal, what animal would that be?
I'm going to go with a gorilla.
A gorilla?
Yes.
Tell me why. I want to know why you're going to be a gorilla. Is it a silverback gorilla? Regular gorilla? Which type of gorilla?
I'm going to go with a silverback gorilla.
All right. Tell me why.
Here's why I'm going to go with a silverback gorilla. I think gorillas are loving and nurturing. Mm-hmm. Good. They're also independent.
They are.
Right? And physically strong.
Mm-hmm. Fierce. And don't mess with their family because they'll kill you. Yeah, they're definitely family people.
Right. So I'm going to go with gorilla.
Okay. All right. Accept. Favorite color?
It's going to have to be Bliss pink.
All right, hold on. I don't know if Bliss pink is an actual color. You know, Jay-Z have Jay-Z blue.
Oh, does he?
Yes, he.
Well, I got Bliss pink.
Okay.
It's hashtag BLISSPYNK.
Maybe you're going to have to patent that.
I probably will.
I feel like other people already wear this pink that you call it Bliss pink. But if Jay-Z can have Jay-Z blue, Sarah can have Bliss pink. All right, tell me what shade exactly is this?
It's like a hot pink, like a fuchsia, like a bright, girly hot pink. It's not like a pastel or a blush. It's like a bright, fierce pink.
All right, so gorilla, bright, fierce pink, cocktail and your husband. And because I know that you're an advocate for vitiligo,
yes,
what would you say to all the ladies out there who have the same skin condition and they may not feel as confident as they should about themselves?
It's baby steps. Take your time. Understand that, your skin changing is not an easy thing, right? I got vitiligo when I was 8. I don't know my skin differently. If you wake up one morning at 27 and you have white patches on your skin, that's going to be difficult to deal with. Take your time. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and try not to focus on those people that are staring or are going to stare. I used to have a big issue. People would stare at me and not say anything, and they'd just stare. And I wasn't confident enough to just stare back and wait and have a staring contest. I'll stare. No, what I'll do now is I will say something to them, and not rude. And I will look at them and say, "Is there a question you'd like to ask?"
That's worse than staring.
Hey,
I like it.
No, but you're staring at me for a reason, and clearly that means you are unaware of what is happening here. So let me educate you, right? One of the things, and God bless her soul, Winnie Harlow, right?
Yes.
A lot of people, I've heard negative things about her, but I don't know her personally, and I think she's flipping brilliant.
Yes.
What she has done,
strong advocate.
What she has done for people like me with vitiligo, the representation, 20, 25 years ago when Michael Jackson said he had vitiligo, people didn't even believe a disease like that existed.
True.
Today, T.I. is starring in a movie where he's the main character with vitiligo.
Right.
People are in an uproar because of the news of vitiligo. I'm just glad to see vitiligo on the big screen. Right? And so, to the ladies that have vitiligo been diagnosed, take your time and try not to internalize the stares and every time you come home and you've had a bad day because people are staring at you, just take a look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself something nice. Find something that you love about yourself on that day, because we can always find something to pick ourselves apart about.
We
always find that. But so sometimes you have to make a concerted. Once a day I look in the mirror and I tell myself, oh me, Autumn.
Listen, it necessary.
Once a day.
It necessary.
I stand up in front of the mirror naked, I tuck in my belly. Oh, all right. And I move
you work
on.
angles? I work angles in the mirror.
Girl.
I know you said that you do these poses in the mirror, but is there a quote that you live by? Is there something that you say to yourself every single day or to other women, especially your brides, about being confident?
Well, for me, what I just said, I'm not joking when I say it. Every day I look in the mirror and I find something nice to say about myself.
What's in your bag?
Okay, so right now my reading glasses, because since I turned 45, I now need reading glasses.
Okay.
Some form of lip balm or lip gloss.
Gotta keep them smooth.
Yeah. Before quarantine, you would have had a MAC compact powder, a lip liner, and the whole thing. No, there's just no point.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point. So I use a lip balm because with my vitiligo, my eczema, my lips get pretty dry. But that's about it.
Okay. All right. So there is a special part of our episode that we have this week, confidence pose. But I don't know if you can pose like me.
Oh, really?
So it's gonna be a pose off.
Oh.
Yeah. It's gonna be a pose
has she seen my Instagram?
I don't really know. Me see your Instagram, but me have more picture than you. I don't know if you can take on my level of posing. It's advanced.
Well, at minimum, you'll teach me something. Okay. So I just want to show everybody the tucking game.
Oh, that's the tucking game that you're talking about.
Feel it, flash and feel it. Hey, it's like a movie. Girl, you are starting to shoot.
I want to show your appreciation here at being Broadtail. You can't leave without actually having a Broadtail piece.
Oh, I'm so excited. Let me see.
There you go.
Am I supposed to open it now?
If you want to. You told me that you like earth tones.
I do.
And so I got you a fabulous cover up.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, that's fab. Thank you.
More than one thing. Okay. Our friends at Morgan's Creek, who's all about skincare, especially for women. She sent a box of goodies for
Oh,
you.
nice.
Yes. So there you
Thank
go.
you.
You're welcome. Morgan's Creek. You know, but like people like you, the people that will get me from one open it.
Hey.
If
it was up to me, I wear it home. Okay. Body oil and aromatherapy shower gel. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much again, Sarah, for coming through and being your honest, authentic self, dropping gems on us, advocating for vitiligo, telling us about your journey. It has really inspired me, and I know that it will inspire a lot of other women out there. But before you leave, there's a thing that we do. Remember, you were talking about investing more and this money management. So this is a ZZ plans, and my mother gave me the ZZ plans, and she said it's the money plans. Now, I don't know how you stay, but if my mother tell me so, I just want you to touch it because I want you to get more money in 2021.
That enough, or should I kind of like?
I mean, I know it depends how much money you want.
All right, we could just.
No, could you leave my plans? Thank you.
And I want to also thank our audience for tuning in to another episode of Being Broadtail. And remember, knowing yourself is an expression of self-respect, and it dictates how you allow others to treat you.
Living the E-Life easy.
Live the E-Life with Sagicor Life.